This evening, VP weighs in on foreign currency shortage. GRA warns persons considering smuggling drugs and illicit items in personal effects. One dead in a fatal accident in Essequibo. In the region, Ecuador police press to stop violence and drug trafficking, and internationally, thousands forced from their homes amid southern Malaysia floods. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, regarding the ongoing debate within the country's financial sector on how to resolve an alleged shortage of foreign currency, Ghana's Vice President Dr. Barry Jagdeo addressed concerns about foreign currency availability and pricing during his press conference on Friday at the Arthur Chung Conference Center. He explained that the Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank have a macroeconomic responsibility to foster price stability in keeping with international norms and standards. The Central Bank must ensure that the money supply, along with fiscal policy, is conducive to growth and does not cause the country to suffer from the Dutch disease. Given the free market structure of Guyana's economy, the availability and pricing of foreign currency fluctuate according to market conditions. Dr. Jagdeo suggested the establishment of an interbank market to facilitate sharing and combat foreign currency hoarding by some banks. He proposed the idea of a daily balance report to the Central Bank of currencies purchased and sold and the daily balance at all institutions to promote greater exchanges. The Georgetown Chamber of Commerce recently raised concerns about a shortage of foreign currency, particularly the US dollar. The Bank of Guyana responded by stating that the banking system has an adequate supply of US dollars to meet local demand, with an average monthly overturn of over US $500 million. Dr. Jagdeo noted that the government needs to ensure that aggregate demands and supply in the markets reach some equilibrium, given the objectives of the Central Bank and the Ministry of Finance. He further added that if there is a sustained shortage, the government has the means to supply the market. In other news, 2 men were arrested by Kanu in separate incidents for cocaine trafficking. Dale Jarvis has more details.
Officers of the Customs and Anti-Narcotics Unit conducted an operation at a property located at Festival City, North Rumville, Georgetown, where they intercepted a male, 44-year-old Royston Peniston, with 2 hardcover suitcases in his possession on March 3, 2023. A subsequent search of the suitcase in the presence of the suspect revealed a quantity of whitish powdery substance suspected to be cocaine. Peniston was arrested and escorted to Kanu headquarters, where a search of both suitcases led to the discovery of 2 parcels also suspected to be cocaine. The suspected narcotic tested positive for cocaine and weighed approximately 5 pounds, with a street value of Guyana $2.1 million. Also, Kanu officers intercepted an outgoing male passenger at Chedijakan International Airport who was destined to travel to the United States of America on March 2, 2023. 52-year-old Cranston Carlson Henry of Crane Housing Scheme West Coast Demerara and of Rockaway Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, United States of America, was questioned, after which he admitted to having a quantity of narcotics in his luggage. A subsequent search was conducted, which led to the discovery of 7 Milex milk packets containing a whitish powdery substance suspected to be cocaine. Henry was arrested and escorted to Kanu's headquarters along with the suspected narcotic, which tested positive for cocaine and weighed over 13 pounds and with an estimated street value of over 13 million Guyana dollars. Further investigations led to the arrest of 44-year-old Mark Ferdinand of Samaru Dam Podron, who was previously arrested in 2015 in the United States of America for drug trafficking. Berkeley Ferdinand, the brother of Mark Ferdinand, was previously charged by Kanu in 2016 for trafficking in narcotics and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Investigations into these matters are ongoing. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. Continuing on our coverage of trafficking, the Ghana Revenue Authority has reported increased effort to smuggle refined narcotics, drugs, and other illicit items through personal consignment at port of entry into Guyana. The authority warns those engaging in such illegal activities to stop immediately. On March 3rd, the authority's Law Enforcement and Investigations Department conducted an operation at the Chedijakan International Airport to Mary. They seized quantities of suspected cannabis and refined marijuana found in a passenger's luggage on an incoming Caribbean flight. The passenger was arrested and handed over to the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit for further investigations and possible prosecution. The Ghana Revenue Authority encourages the general public to report illicit, unlawful, or smuggling activities by calling any of the numbers on the screen. All information provided will be treated confidentially, and those who provide tips may be rewarded according to the provisions of the Customs Act. Stick around. When we return, 2 die after a driver allegedly lost control of vehicle in Berbice, and woman brutally murdered by her husband on the east coast of the Marara.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Cab Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Give your home or office some shine. Fortune Investment Company. We provide reliable commercial and residential professional cleaning services in Guyana. We clean homes and commercial offices. Other services offered are floor care and tile polishing, interior auto detailing services, power washing, weeding and cleaning, and carpet, couch, and mattress cleaning. We are committed to keeping your homes and offices squeaky clean. Call us now at 592-689-7558 or 592-639-6365 or visit us at 3430 Jackson North Rumville, Georgetown, Guyana. Fortune Investment Company. When we say clean, we mean spotless.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Welcome back. A woman has been brutally murdered by her husband on the east coast of the Marara earlier today. According to reports, the man allegedly slit the woman's throat and stabbed her multiple times before ingesting a poisonous substance and attempting to slit his own throat. The woman, whose identity has not yet been released, was pronounced dead at the scene. The man, who has also not been identified, was rushed to a nearby hospital where he is currently under police supervision. It is yet not clear what led to the brutal attack, but investigations are ongoing. Domestic violence continues to be a major issue in Guyana. This latest incident is a stark reminder of the need for greater awareness and action to address the problem. Tragedy struck during the early hours of Sunday morning when a road incident claimed the lives of 2 individuals and injured another at Bramfield Public Road in East Berbice. The incident, which occurred around 3:30 a.m., involved a motorcar PAB 7203 driven by 39-year-old Wallace Crawford, now deceased, of Weisels Village, West Country, Berbice. There were 2 other occupants in the vehicle, 24-year-old Shizia London, now dead, of Stanley Town, New Amsterdam, Berbice, who was seated in the front passenger seat, and 29-year-old Jameer Wills of Savannah Park, New Amsterdam, who was sitting behind her in the back. Inquiries disclosed that the motorcar was proceeding west along the southern drive lane of the road at a fast rate of speed when Crawford lost control of the vehicle, which spun and toppled Turtle, ending up in a trench on the northern side of the road. As a result, Crawford and the 2 occupants received injuries. They were taken to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital, where they were seen and examined by a doctor who pronounced the driver, Wallace Crawford, and occupant Shizia London, dead on arrival. Their bodies are at the New Amsterdam Public Hospital mortuary awaiting a post-mortem examination. Wills was seen and examined and admitted as a patient. The motorcar is lodged at the Central Police Station as investigations continue. Also, in a similar news, ranks of the Ghana Police Force are investigating a fatal accident in front of the Greenwich Park Primary School, East Bank, Essequibo, earlier today. The accident involved a minibus and a motor lorry in which one person has been pronounced dead. The identity of the victim and the circumstances surrounding the accident have not yet been disclosed. Investigations are ongoing, and updates will be provided as more information becomes available. In other news, World Obesity Day was observed globally on Saturday, March 4th under the theme Changing Perspectives, Let's Talk About Obesity. Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, highlighted that obesity is a significant health issue in Guyana. He explained that a simple calculation called the Body Mass Index, or BMI, measures whether a person is overweight or obese. Dr. Anthony emphasized the importance of people knowing their BMI. The health minister also explained that obesity is a risk factor for chronic non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cardiovascular diseases, stroke, and sleeping difficulties. Therefore, individuals must be aware of the other risk factors associated with obesity. Dr. Anthony emphasized that a healthy diet and regular exercise are crucial in controlling obesity. He encouraged people to be more active and recommended that individuals walk, run, or engage in physical activity for at least 30 minutes every day. Dr. Anthony noted that unhealthy eating habits could contribute to weight gain and lead to obesity. This year, World Obesity Day aims to increase awareness, correct misconceptions, encourage advocacy, and improve policies related to the disease. Don't go away after the break. Fire blazes through crowded Rohingya refugee camps in Bangladesh, and thousands forced from their homes amid southern Malaysia floods.
Celebrity Pure Vegan Cuisine and Bar. We say vegan, we speak about 100% vegan. No dairy products, no MSG. From the cheese, the butter, the milk, everything we use here, it's vegan. Our breakfast, some of the special we have for breakfast: porridge, fried plantains, we have boil and fried katahar, boil and fried cassavas. We have soup of the day, which you all know. The main thing in that soup is the dry mushrooms as well as the bean curry. Young okras is a must with full ground food, split peas and everything up in that. Coconut milk is the main thing. Then we have the lunchtime. Some of the main dishes the people already is hitting on: the split peas cocoa rice, basmati and quinoa mix. A lot of people don't know what's that, but you come down here, you get it. It's a replacement of rice and a great substitute in the vegan business. Then we have dal, corn, okra and carrots, edo leaves, chanchi down in coconut milk. There's so many side dishes, but one of the special things is the chicken that we make right here. We make sweet and sour chicken, strip chicken, jerk chicken. All of that is in-house, made right in here from scratch. In the evening, you know everything is up. We also carry a large variety of organic and natural products. Some of the products that we have here is the hemp. The hemp, that one is a very important product for the body. Proteins and everything to the max. We have the Corellia. This also is very good for the body. We have the spirulina. Spirulina is very good for everyone, but men benefit a lot from that. After the spirulina, we have the maca powder. These are all organic and natural powders for the body, especially when you're getting up there in age. You use these things as supplements. Black seed oil On the internet, it said the only thing the black seed oil don't cure is death. And there are many more products that we have there, full variety. We have the natural juices we also make. We have from like the sorrel juice, the pineapple juice, mabi, ginger beer. All these things make from the bark or the natural powder. We do not use concentrate in this cuisine at all. Everything we do it natural. Also at the Celebrity Pure Vegan Cuisine, we have a well-stocked bar. Some people choose to have a drink when they finish eating. We need to make sure that they're comfortable and happy when they're leaving this place. So we do our best to provide the services that we think is required. Remember, this place are fully AC and we cater for weddings, all occasions, birthday parties, anniversaries. So we set the place so that everyone can come, feel right and understand what's happening. Come right down to the Pure Vegan Cuisine and Bar, 198 Camp Street again, and you will find everything you need to live to be healthy.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. In Ecuador, police are struggling to contain a month-old wave of organized crime. The South American nation has become a transportation hub for the multi-billion-dollar cocaine trade to the United States and Europe, Al Jazeera's Alessandro Rampietti reports.
Police traffic stops in Ecuador's largest city, Guayaquil, are far from routine these days. Armed officers wear bulletproof vests and most have their faces covered as they look for drug gang members that have been terrifying the city. Today they found a possibly illegal gun in this SUV.
In January, we arrested 145 people in this neighborhood alone. We found more than 18 weapons, short and large. We want people to feel safe.
Guayaquil has become the epicenter of a turf war among national and international gangs. Bombings and killings have become daily occurrences, as its port has turned into the main transport hub for cocaine trafficking. Ecuador's geographic position between the world's two main cocaine producers, Peru and Colombia, the use of US dollar as currency, and corruptible state institutions made it ideal for the drug cartels.
Ecuador used to be a safe country. In 2017, we had 5.6 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. Now it's almost 5 times that. What it shows is that the government didn't take the necessary precautions. Yet we know cocaine production had moved closer to our borders, and nothing was done in the most vulnerable communities to prevent the growth of the gangs.
Fernando Bastias of a human rights organization working in Guayaquil's poorest neighborhoods confirms that the social impact of drug trafficking has been devastating.
After the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw organised crime gangs becoming stronger and stronger. At a time of high unemployment, they offered a way to survive. Now fear won. Fear to leave your house, to denounce, to speak up.
Poverty and lack of opportunity have made kids from neighborhoods like this one on the outskirts of Guayaquil an easy prey of criminal organizations bent on turning them into the cannon fodder of their turf wars.
In response, some residents have organized a free football school to try and keep kids away from the lure of using and dealing drugs. But the organizers tells us anonymously, for fear of retaliation, that is not enough.
We had a recent case of a kid, 15 years old, who fell for the money he was offered. You know, they think it's the best they can get. He ended up killed with 17 shots. I felt the world collapsed. I knew him since he was 8. It makes you feel impotent.
Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera, Guayaquil.
Internationally, a massive fire raced through a cramped refugee camp for Rohingya Muslims in southern Bangladesh, leaving thousands homeless, a fire official and the United Nations said. So far, there are no reports of any casualties. Al Jazeera's Tanvir Chowdhury reports.
This is not the first time these Rohingya have been forced from their homes. Years ago, they fled oppression in Myanmar. Now a major fire at Cox's Bazar refugee camp in Bangladesh has again left thousands without roof over their heads.
In these 3 camps which the fire happened, around 100,000 refugees are living, and 50% of them are children. UNICEF and the partners, we are on the ground and we are trying to meet the immediate and urgent need of all those traumatized children and their families.
Firefighters and volunteers were able to get the blaze under control, but by then there had been extensive damage. Aid groups have been distributing water and basic necessities, but it's not clear whether those left without homes will find shelter. Cox's Bazar is home to more than 1 million Rohingya refugees. A camp this size with so many living in cramped condition makes fires like this difficult to avoid.
During the dry season, it is quite easy that something catches fire if there's a distraction. Why? Because the materials that we use in the camps are all temporary, meaning that the shelters are built of bamboo and tarpaulin, which makes it quite easy that something catches fire, and the spread can be also quite fast, considering that it's very congested and every shelter is very tight with each other.
Hundreds of thousands of Rohingya fled a military crackdown in Myanmar that began in 2017. Years later, it still isn't safe for them to return. While the fire confirms conditions in the refugee camps are dangerous, those living here have nowhere else to go. Tanvir Chaudhary, Al Jazeera, Dhaka.
And finally, cleanup is underway in parts of Malaysia after days of rain-triggered flooding forced thousands from their homes and killed at least 4 people. Al Jazeera's Florence Lowe reports.
Unseasonably heavy rain has lashed Malaysia's southern state of Johor for days. In some places, the rainfall recorded was the highest in more than 30 years. Fields, roads, and homes were inundated in floodwaters. Shops have been closed while the streets remain waterlogged. In the past 2 days, as floodwaters rose, people started leaving their homes for the safety of relief centres, bringing with them what they could.
We've resigned ourselves to God's will. What can we do? We cannot complain about our fate because you're all in the same boat here.
The northeast monsoon, which brings heavy rains to Malaysia, typically runs from November to March, but by February, the rains normally begin to taper off. But people here say the climate crisis has made the weather unpredictable.
Throughout my life, for more than 50 years, we used to prepare for the rainy season in November and December. Each household had a boat, but now with the unpredictable weather, it seems like we're not prepared at all, and it's just chaotic.
The Malaysian Meteorological Department has warned the wet weather could continue until April. Florence Louis, Al Jazeera.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-minute forecast. This concludes today's headline news updates. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. with our next broadcast. For more news and updates, you can visit our Facebook and YouTube pages. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other and have a fantastic, happy celebration.